We
We're
are
good?
live. We're good.
We're ready, gentlemen?
Think so. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Special guest Manny, CrossFit Coincide.
Yep.
Let's get it, man.
Julio.
Nice to meet you. Here we go again.
How's it going? How's you
That's
guys
me.
this week going? We haven't done this. We haven't had a podcast in 2-3 weeks?
I think a little bit longer than that. We're
Yeah.
pretty busy doing some little things on the side. We're discussing a little bit, but yeah. First, how you
Got a
doing?
lot
man?
going on,
Yeah,
man.
it's a lot.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I did get to see that one about a week ago. But yeah, I was like, you know what? That looks pretty cool.
I appreciate
And
you
at the
coming
same
on,
time,
man.
it's like, you know what? I hit him up. You know, I've been following him, and I don't even know how you popped up. Seriously, how did we pop up? Like,
How did we connect? I know it's through Instagram.
Everybody connects to this.
Yeah,
That's why I'm not in it.
Maybe it was one of I think it was maybe something you posted, and then I commented on it, and I was like, dude, I like it because you do a lot of barbell work, which we love.
yeah,
And I think we just started talking about that. You saw some of mine, and then it just started going from there. But yeah, I think that's how we got introduced, which has been awesome. And then you came down, and we threw down a little bit this week.
yeah.
But how's your week going? I know we got a lot going on. Let's start off with your business. Congratulations. We got the Caring Foundation going, Julio, on top of Synergy.
So you guys know, my wife and I, we own Synergy Home Care of Whittier. We found a lot of families that couldn't afford our services, like disability care, a lot of modifications to homes, like wheelchair ramps. So we decided to start a nonprofit. So it's called the Caring Foundation. Soon to be announced. We have an Instagram, at the Caring Foundation. So basically, we found the need to give back to the families that can't afford it, right? I'm very honored because I asked Carlos to be part of my board member. So he's one of my board members. Supporting him. We're doing EMT. We're doing the Caring Foundation. There's a lot of things that we're looking to do in the future. So yeah, I look forward to the Caring Foundation. Hopefully, I will start a new. It's going to be called 30 for 30, so $30 for 30 days. I'm trying to raise $2,500 to give back to a senior in need. I mean, it can be anything from wheelchair to hearing aids to modifications to restroom to home care services. So just giving back, right? That's what we want.
Yeah.
So 100% of the proceeds going to go back. So,
Very
I'm
humble.
excited for that.
Very humble. And I respect that. I like deeply, deeply respect that. And you know what? That was one of the things that I was driven, I've been kind of like been wanting to find somebody like that, to kind of connect with, plug in and stuff like that, because I can relate.
Yeah.
Why? Because I came from that, not having a meal, having beans, rice, and cheese, and a block of cheese for breakfast, lunch,
Remember
and
those
dinner.
government cheese packages in the cardboard?
That one.
Hey, that's where the gains came from, baby.
That was it.
Dude, that's awesome. And that's what we're all about, man. It's like we're not doing all this for money. A lot of EMT, Caring Foundation.
Yeah.
Man, I fired my technician like 3 times already. He keeps coming back and messing up. So I love it. Everybody, you guys know we're new at this. This is episode number 6.
Batteries. Episode 6.5.
Thank you, Manny, for being so patient. I know you're a busy man, bro.
Right, man.
We're just here having some fun, dude. So
I'm a little out of breath. I had to run to the store to buy some batteries.
Literally ran. You got there fast, dude. That was like 2 minutes. That was not bad.
I don't know where we left off, but I mean,
well, we announced the Caring Foundation. We're gonna first time announcing that EMT is official, nonprofit. And like we're discussing, I don't know if they caught it or not, how you were saying, this is the type of stuff you're into, you wanted to meet people like this. And yeah, I think we're built different over here. We do things not for money or anything like that, or for recognition. We do things because we actually care about giving back and trying to help people better themselves, and whatever we could do to help, it's what makes us feel good in doing this, right? Yeah. All this stuff we do on our own time. We're not seeing anything out of it. But when we leave, I know we're gonna feel good. When we're getting to meet somebody new, hearing your story. Maybe you could help somebody that's listening and like, damn, I've been through that. I recognize that, and maybe help somebody. You know what I mean? That's why we do it, right? So yeah. But yeah, we're official EMT, Caring Foundation. Let's talk about a little bit about you, Manny. Let's go.
Where do we start? Yeah. So yeah.
So let's talk about CrossFit Coincide, right?
Just a humble guy. Again, I was 14 when I first got into that mindset of like, wait a minute, do I want to work out and do I want to go through that pain?
Yeah.
It's like,
People don't know about
and
that
I'm like,
pain.
oh, like, because I done just a little bit of the running and stuff like that, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna shoot it. I'm gonna see if I could do it. So I started then and joined a little bit of sports here and there. But fast forward to when I was like in my 20s, which I wish I would have done it earlier.
Right.
You know, 20 about 27. That's when I met my wife, and we actually decided to get together. And she was a personal trainer
Okay.
at 24 and at LA Fitness. I'm like, the heck? I'm like, dude, I'm like, oh, then she's too qualified. She's too overqualified for me, I'm like,
Right.
oh man. I'm like, and
Great.
we hit it off. Fast forward a little bit after CrossFit Coincide was born. That was our baby. It's been our baby for 13 and a half, 14 years now. We've opened up and we're like dirty, squat rack and a dirty floor and
CrossFit, baby.
a wall ball and 1,000 square feet. Okay, let's go, and I'm like, you know what? Let's go. And so first customer comes in and I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna do? I'm like,
Well, before we get to your first customer, I
yeah,
kind of want to backtrack a little bit.
yeah,
So, and you meet your wife and everything like that.
yeah,
I mean, what is the name? I mean, how did you guys come up with that, right? I want to kind of get your thought because
yeah,
I talked to Carlos, like I've always wanted to open a gym myself, right? And then you look at CrossFit.com, you're like, CrossFit this, I was taking CrossFit this is taking, I know you've been open for so long, maybe there's a lot more names open back then, but I mean, why coincide? And first of all, why even open a gym?
oh man. So that's a interesting, very interesting, theme. Basic. When I first started, I got pulled in by he's now my buddy. He came into where I was working. I was working at a hardware store. I'd been there for like 8 years, dude. And like I was saying, Carlos, I'm like, dude, I hated that place. I didn't want to work there anymore. I had been working out every day
Yeah.
well, every time I get off work and I would go work out. He came in anyways, and he's like, hey, do you work out? I'm like, why?
No, I don't.
I was all flexing out, like, nah, sometimes, bro. And and I'm like, what do you need? Dude, I was like a jerk to him. And he's like, hey, I own a CrossFit. I'm like, what is that? And he's like, oh, I just opened it up and it's this and that. And I'm like, cool. I was so ignorant back then, I was like in my 20s. And he's like, yeah, it's named Citizen CrossFit.
Hmm.
So Citizen CrossFit, I'm like, I never heard of CrossFit before, and Citizen, cool, you know. So I step in, I go. He invites me, and he asked me to help him build it, because I I was handy because I worked in that area. So, dude, next thing you know, I become Citizen CrossFit, a CrossFitter. And sure thing, it came from there. So I spent the first 4 years in Citizen CrossFit building it with him.
Mhm.
Right. So he basically, I told him, look, I could afford only so much, because I got my expenses. And he's like, don't worry about it.
That's great.
I'm like, dude, that's humble. That's why, I literally just opened up my heart towards being me, So that's how it started. Citizen CrossFit was what changed my life. Basically, and the one thing he told me was, "Hey, have you ever thought of doing something like this you like for a living?" And that's the seed that was, planted from him. So fast forward to 4 years plus, it was almost 8 years into Citizen CrossFit. We blew up. We were in the Anaheim Hills area where we had she's about eight CrossFits.
Mm.
back in the days. We're talking 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12 is when it just blew up. So I was quote unquote the mascot of that, because I was just boss of the wall. And I became an RX competitor uh, from the OC throwdown and stuff like that. And it was just like basic, like, like competitions every weekend and all that stuff. That's why I busted my ass off for that. And so started building it, not even knowing that, I would literally shoot straight to pursuing that.
Yeah.
So that's how it came to be when we branched off because they were about to close. So I'm like, dude, what are we
CrossFit
gonna do?
Citizen.
Yeah, Citizen CrossFit was about to close. They're like, everyone goes through, through that. Everyone goes through that. And so me and my wife were like, what are we gonna do? And so we're looking for names. Let's open up ours. And I'm like, let's go. I didn't even think about it.
That's great.
So we started looking for names, and that's how it came about. Mainside didn't approve any of the other names we had. And we're like, you know what? They want something that they've never heard. So we coincided from Citizen CrossFit. So you see where I took it?
Yeah.
You see where I flipped it?
That's
So
nice.
I coincided from Citizen CrossFit. So it became CC. So Citizen CrossFit Coincide. So CrossFit Coincide, we kept the C's.
C's,
So that
yeah.
was my mindset going into that.
Oh,
And
okay.
so that's how we became, CrossFit Coincide. So we coincided from that because I wanted to, continue that legacy because that's what opened up, my everything for me.
Right.
It changed my life. It changed everything from, changing habits, changing my mindset, and from there on, it just blew up,
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, that's a good story. How is it working with your wife and everything, in this industry, being a man and, business aspect of it, and then having to go home and, being a husband and stuff like that? How's that?
It sure is different. It sure is
Mhm.
different because, as we know, there's got to be that 50-50 quote unquote,
Yeah.
uh, between mindsets and basic thinking and doing stuff like that, planning. And she always says, let's brainstorm. So that brainstorm, is still stuck, in the head. Okay, we're going to brainstorm.
Right.
And it's worked so far, dude. Humbly, it's she's a pillar
That's awesome.
as I am. So it's been
Yeah.
crazy. It's been crazy, even though like, it's not easy.
Yeah.
We 50% we agree to disagree.
I was talking to somebody that I'm trying to branch out with in reference to EMT, and a lot of it we were discussing was the role of a man and the role of a woman in society and relationships and things of that nature. And that, you putting your wife up and building her up and saying she's a pillar is amazing. And I think right now in the times that we're in, everybody wants to be higher than another person. We're all human. We're all on this, earth together, trying to just make it. And everybody has their, I like to call it an echo chamber. They want to be surrounded by people who feed off of them, and yes men, people that have the same ideas, the same concepts. And if somebody else is different, they don't want them part of their echo chamber.
Yeah.
With that being said, I think at this point in time, we all need to just be at a level playing field. You know what I mean? Women, our wives, we want to be the ones to help build them up and not put them down. And why you saying that is something that I love hearing that, because I have my wife, I have my daughter, same as you. It's not who wears the pants in the house anymore. It's not who has more control or, anything like that. It's teamwork. It's, being at the same level and recognizing that, what do you think?
These times are hard.
Yeah.
When we're talking regarding that topic is very, very touchy.
Yeah.
Most men have their egos, and I'm speaking because I have had that thought, and I'm like, dude, you gotta humble your ass down. Why? Because I did start off like that,
Yeah.
Now that you say that, now that you mention that, I'm like, you know what? I did start off.
I think we all have that at one time.
And I'm like, you know what? And she's still teaching me how to be a man. I'm like, whoa. You know, that's one of the things that, wait a minute, that is why we have to work on that. You know, so
Yeah.
me personally, like, dude,
It's hard, huh?
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
I hear it all the time.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm the same way. You
Yeah.
know, like, you know, my wife, she always tells me I saved you, right? You
Yeah.
know, she said, well, she tells me she saved me.
From the streets.
I'm gonna say it again.
Yeah.
She says she saved me from the cucaracha. She loves saying that. But not just that. I mean, if I wasn't married, if I didn't have kids, I would definitely not have a business. I would definitely not try to give back. I think I would just be, you know, a single guy, just leasing or renting. I'm doing something, you know, that I'm not supposed to be
There's nothing
doing.
wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. But
Yeah.
I'll be throwing my money in, you know, probably at the bar every day. After, you know, it just, you know,
Doing
just doing dumb things and, you know, not looking for a future right now. What I'm trying to build something that, you know, it's a tough world, like you said, right? So I want to leave something for my kids, right? So I don't want them to struggle as much as because we struggle, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I think that's what we're working for. We're working to
Yeah.
build something. So when they get to 18, 19, 20, we want them to struggle. We want them to work. Yes, we want them to learn the ropes. But us as parents, we want them to be well off. Well, at least comfortable, right?
Value life.
Yes.
You know, that's what I see. You know, that's why, you know, when I saw, I'm like, empowerment. I'm like, what is that? You know, I'm like, wait a minute. You know, you help me, I help you. That's empowering each other, and I know that we have. I learned this along the way. One word can change everything.
Yes.
I was like, whoa, that's empowerment. You know, sometimes somebody that's struggling out there is like me. You know, I am looking, you know, from the window inside and also, you know, giving that feedback. I'm like, sometimes I tell myself, am I crazy? You know, because sometimes I'll get one word and I'm like, yeah, you know, he just empowered me. I'm like, and then when I first saw that, I'm like, I want what you have, you know?
Yeah.
So that I can use it, and I know that a lot of us need it, you know, and we're still working. One of the things that I've learned along the way was, you know what, we all feel the same thing, which is pain,
Yeah.
and that's what helped me. That's what got me humble.
Yeah.
You know, that's what got me humble to being myself around, you know, other people that are themselves, because you can tell right away when they're not, you know what I mean, or when it's, you know, that there's that wall. So that's pretty much.
I think that's the defining factor on how men handle their situations and growing up, and
Yeah.
how they define being a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the good times that you go through in life that define who you are, how you handle situations.
Exactly.
It's the pain,
Yeah.
right? And by you saying that right now,
Yeah.
it just like it brings a flood of different things. And whether a person goes through a lot of it or not too much, I mean,
Yeah.
we had somebody on the podcast previously who didn't have a tough childhood or a struggle story, and that's okay. But he probably had pain in a certain different type of way, and that's what's going to
Yes.
show you how do you handle it. Do you become machismo? Do you become toxic masculinity? Do you allow yourself to express that pain and try to find tools to fix it? Everybody's trying to fix everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and yet we're the ones. Yeah, they're broken. Yeah. That's what we get all the time. I was like, why are you trying to fix them when you haven't even fixed yourself? I'm like,
Or they're not even fixed.
or you know, or they're not,
Yeah.
or this or that.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it's like whoa. I'm like, oh man, I'm
And
gonna
then
crawl back into my.
well, you start to
look
think
at-
like, what's wrong with me, right? I mean, sometimes that's what it takes, right?
Yeah.
You know, like
Is it me?
It's
it me?
Is it me? I don't know.
Is it me?
Yeah.
No, I think it's me.
Holy crap! I'm gonna take it. Yeah, wait a minute. Take a step back. What are you gonna say? How are you gonna approach that? Uh-oh. And now it's like, holy shit. So now it's one of those where like I've gotten this before. Well, you could go and everything could be falling apart and you're like nothing happened. Like, because I am learning how if it helps you, you embrace it. If it doesn't help you, well then you let it go.
Let it go.
And I'm like, holy crap.
Do you think men have a better way of handling that than say women? Do
You know
think?
what?
So, because I mean, I'm really.
Careful, that's a tough one.
Yeah. Well, this is what it's about.
Yeah.
I know.
I'll touch it. I'll touch the
Yeah.
subject.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, I'm nonchalant about a lot of stuff. Shit doesn't get to me. Or I pretend like it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I learned how, I know, maybe the way I was raised, I know how to like, hey, that's not something I ain't got time to worry about that, or that's not a big deal, man. I've been homeless, eating out of trash cans. Like, I got real shit to worry about, you know? But then when it comes down, I'm gonna go back to my wife, who didn't live that life. Thankfully, nobody should live, you know, go through the shit that a lot of the shit I went through. Where there's things that is a big deal and she's stressed out about, and everybody handles, you know, everybody's big deal is a big deal to them. And I'm not one to say that somebody's big deal is not a big deal or not as meaningful as what I say it is, right? So she doesn't know how to just unwind and let it go. You know what I mean?
I hear you. So I mean, one thing that I personally struggle with, I mean, you know, when we have arguments and stuff like that, or you know, any when we don't agree on things, even with my kids, one thing that I struggle with, which the wife always tells me, it's, you know, saying I'm sorry, right? That's my big thing.
I'm barely learning.
No.
I'm 45 years old.
Yeah, I mean, but, you know,
you're not the only one.
No, but it's weird because it's even with my kids, right? It's you know, I you know, they do something, or you know they're kids, whatever, and they say I'm sorry, you know, and sometimes okay, and then the wife is like, say I'm sorry back, and I'm like, well, yeah, and then I say it. But that's something that, you know, that we all, you know, we as we grow older, you know, we start seeing things that we are not comfortable doing. I know that's something. I'm not sure why. I'm still trying to understand why I'm not comfortable doing that. But
the I'm sorry is you're not the only one. And I've been working this topic personally. So basically, it's, you know, the personal growth aspect of it. You know, it's like, man, that's where the ego operates. That's what I've learned along the way. I'm like, holy crap, dude. I'm like, be humble, be humble. So the upbringing is that I was one of those where I would go in and walk in the room and be like, I didn't give a shit about anything or anybody. And somebody just came up to me and told me straight out, hey, you know, you're like this, you're like that. You know, they literally just tore me a new one.
How'd you handle that?
I was like, what the heck?
he probably didn't know you were that way, right?
Yeah. I'm like, how? That changed everything.
Is it somebody like you looked up to? Somebody that's just a random person?
Just a random person. Random person.
How'd you take it?
That saw me, and I'm like,
I don't know how. Like,
who's this? You know, who's this?
Like, who are you? Yeah.
You know, who's this, right? And I'm like, oh shit. So, and then I started realizing, holy shit, I'm a dick. Oh, I'm this. Oh, and then I started seeing myself in the mirror. I was like, are you really like that? Then I started changing my face. And I dove deeper into that, and I'm like, wait a minute. I have that because of my upbringing. What happened to me? And I dug deeper and deeper. I'm like, holy crap! I had nobody to teach me. Nobody to teach me what to do, or how to say, or how to react to certain things, right? So there it was. My problem was that nobody ever taught me how to ask for something. You know, that entitlement thing, stuff like that. So nobody ever taught me how to be a kid. Nobody ever taught me how to, you know, grow up and value, you know, things. You know?
We were just talking about that on the car ride over here about when it came to your son and like what our sons are going through and stuff like that. Like, there's no rule book, there's no manuscript, and I didn't have a dad, so nobody taught me how to be a dad or how to handle tough situations. You know, my son went through some stuff you know, medically about a year ago where he ended up in the hospital, and I could have been pissed and I could have attacked him and I could have made him feel like shit. But I took a step back while he was in there, and I was like, look, I'm not gonna be the bad guy. You know, I wasn't raised perfect. I didn't do good shit growing up. I'm not gonna attack him. All I could do is just make sure to be there for him, listen to him, and help him, guide him through what he's going through right now. A year later, he's thriving right now and he's doing well. It could have been the opposite, but there was nobody to tell me that. You know what I mean? Like I said, nobody asked for help. I didn't ask anybody for help.
Yeah.
I had to take sit back and think about it, you know what I mean? And which direction am I gonna choose? Am I gonna chew his ass out? Am I gonna fucking make him feel like shit? Am I gonna, tell him, what are you doing, this and that and the other, and then make him go deeper into depression or whatever it is? Or am I gonna let him know, hey bro, like I'm your dad, like I'm here, let me know what's going on, talk to me. I'm gonna help you get through this shit. I've seen everything there is to see in life. Let me know where you're at, and I'm gonna try to guide you to get to where you need to be at. You know what I mean? So when you bring that up, there's no rule book. There's no manual for that.
No, and that's where we men have to start, dig deep, and where I found myself was there. It's like, dude, you were 5 years old, you didn't even go to school, you didn't do anything. Go back. I was 5 when my dad died, and all right, how do you grow up to be a man? Who teaches you? Supposed to teach you what is it that I don't know anything about being a dad, and so that's exactly where we're at in that sense of like, you know what, as a man, since you have that problem, you're not the only one. We all have that problem, and it's not a problem when we really think about it. It's actually a situation where we have to go in there and like really start working that. I was like, and
maybe that's what it is. I mean, my dad, he's still alive, but I didn't meet him till I was 18 years old, right? So maybe that's what it is. I mean, I don't know. We're old. I'm to the stage. I'm trying to find out. And, I still, first podcast we did, I said, talked about how I face his papers. I hold no grudges. But I mean, maybe that's it. I don't know, but that's something,
something for us to find out.
I think, as men, we need to realize when we're wrong or we're trying to fix things, right? And that's something I haven't told my wife. I'm telling you now. I try, but I just don't show it, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's
we have the best intentions.
Yeah.
We want to do the right things and say the right things. It's just we don't sometimes deliver it.
Exactly.
What I mean? Honestly, with me, it just feels weird sometimes.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Like a natural feeling.
Like it's natural. We are all there.
You do one of these. I'm sorry.
Oh, that felt weird. What was that?
And you know what? And that's it. And we're all there, and that is one of the things that I keep going back and forth. I'm like, am I crazy? Like what the? I kid you not, I've broken down into tears to where it's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and it's crazy because
awesome,
like
man.
it's that we're always thinking, well, maybe maybe it's this, maybe it's that, and I'm like, holy shit. And so what happened was right after that, that's what the way it worked with me was I started meeting more people, and I'm like, wait a minute, more people that I had no idea what they were gonna, front me, basically what they were gonna feed me. And I was like, without even thinking about it, dude, it started teaching me. So I started learning, I started learning.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I know, so we're having some technical difficulties. Our sound keeps on dying.
You can blame the engineer.
Yeah.
It's a fourth pack of batteries,
Where
but
are we at
we're
now?
still good.
Do you want to, do you think we got 5 more minutes?
Yeah, probably got like 5 more minutes. Probably, yeah.
I apologize. I know I want to have you back on here. There's so much that we're talking about that I want to get to, but I don't want to have this keep shutting off on us. Because it's killing the mood. We're getting deep into it.
You can blame the engineer.
We're getting deep into these conversations, and it's going a great direction.
Well, we were just talking about I'm sorry, so I'm sorry, guys.
So guys, what's the...
But I really want
My
to
apologies, man. I'm gonna buy the chart. You see, I bought batteries, so I apologize.
What I really want to do is make sure that you get your information out there. Anything coming up, anything you want to put out there, maybe people will listen to. Let them know where your gym's located at.
Oh yeah. So we are in Garden Grove. We're right next to Huntington Beach. So if anybody's in the area, drop in, check it out. We're right off of Brookhurst and Trask 22 freeway, basically. So
Okay.
so that's
Is that the toll freeway? I think I got a freaking ticket.
There is no toe.
Do you validate my toe?
Right?
Any events coming up in your gym? Anything?
As of right now,
Personal training, and then you do a lot of
yeah,
that.
so right now the one thing that we are offering is a couple of promos. The personalized training is till the end of the year. We are giving back to everyone that's that wants to get back in shape. Especially the dads, dads out there.
Dad bod, baby.
Dad bod.
Hey, this guy knows his stuff.
The world.
This guy right here, he's
That's-
efficient. He knows his lifting. He knows his techniques.
Yeah.
We just did a workout right now. It was amazing. And
I want to do it. I want to go throw it down with you.
Yeah,
I
the
gotta do
first
it.
part of
I
it
wanted to,
was-
but I was busy too. So
Yeah, we gotta catch up on
yeah,
that.
You guys will go ham together. I already know.
love it.
Anything you want to close with? I don't want anything to shut off, and I think it's better that we just finish it up and then.
No, yeah. I mean,
We'll
maybe
set up
before we
again.
go to your Instagram or anything like that, they can follow you. You guys have.
CrossFit Coincide. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on they can check out the YouTube channel. It doesn't have a lot, but again, we're working hard.
Yeah.
So we are doing the personal training at literally 50% off right
Awesome.
now
Ooh,
because
nice. Take advantage of that.
I'm giving
Oh,
back.
yeah.
Take advantage of that because there's a lot more that we can learn off of each other, and every coach needs a coach.
And they have a great coach like you. They understand why it's worth what it's worth. So
Exactly.
that's awesome. We have some great stuff coming
Future
up.
events, yeah.
Future events coming up for EMT. Clay shooting is going to be in December. I've been trying to get that organized. That's why I haven't posted a lot. Our next meeting, I'm going to schedule a meeting for next month. These weekends are pretty packed. There's a lot of, I know our gym is holding a competition. You can look on our Instagram pages to get more information on that. But we'll have a meeting, we'll set it up. I know I have a special guest coming up. It's going to be a kind of a surprise for everybody. Somebody I had a couple of meetings with. So be on the lookout for that. But a lot of good stuff coming up. I really want to get you back on here again once we get everything figured out. Because I know there's a lot of stuff that we got to talk about.
Yeah, we're still learning a lot, so yeah.
So I appreciate you coming in and your
Appreciate
time
you guys.
and being
No,
patient, man.
Again,
And I need you to throw down with this guy right here.
we definitely got to empower each other.
Absolutely,
That's
that's
it.
all what it's
we
about,
got to
man.
empower each other. And again, I'm beyond humble, and
Love that.
thankful with you guys. That you guys had me on here.
Absolutely, man. I
So
appreciate
yeah,
your time,
appreciate
man.
both of you guys. And again, we are here to empower each other. EMT is ever since I first saw that, I'm like, empowerment. That's the first level.
Fuck yeah, I love that.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Love that.
Love it, man.
Well,
Thanks,
what we
man.
say here is,
Yeah.
what we say?
Shoulders back, head up.
Let's keep doing it,
See you guys
guys.
next time. Thank
All right,
you.
hold up. Thank you. Manny.
Let's go.